What is going on, everybody? It looks like Boosie is just getting the short end of the stick right now because Shan Booty clapped back at him after Boosie suggested that she needed to get her money up if she wanted to secure an interview with him for his new project.
Cotton, actually you're wrong, bro. I'm not gonna take no losses now with Vlad, bro. You're wrong, bro. You're wrong, bro. That 25,000 5-6 times a year, bro, I make that in a weekend, bro. I make that 6 weekends in a row, bro. I don't need a podcast to be successful, bro. Like, I expect you to take his side because you're a podcaster. But I think the real reason is you reached out to me last week trying to get an interview, and I told you no, bro.
So this all started after Shan Booty had reached out to Boosie for an interview, and he turned it down. She came back and offered him $1,500, and that is when Boosie made his comments. And he said something very interesting, basically implying that Shan Booty was siding with VladTV and Say Cheese over him. And Shan Booty fired back with a response that I honestly think will make it very difficult for Vlad's relationship with Boosie to ever fully recover. But first, Shan breaks down and debunks everything Boosie was claiming about her taking sides against him.
You go back and look at my vlog, I'm the guy that said that Vlad should pay Boosie what he wants because he haven't did an interview on Vlad in like 8 months. So I know Vlad was gonna make way more than what he usually makes because there's so much to talk about, Pooh Shiesty and all this stuff going on, NBA, young Ben 10 and all that. So I felt as though Vlad should pay Boosie what he wanted. So I don't get me taking Vlad's side and because I'm a podcaster when I said this multiple times.
And this part is important because Shan Booty actually went to Vlad and told him directly, just pay Boosie more. Figure out a way to make it work financially or find another arrangement, but keep the relationship intact. And Shan Booty shouted out Money Man as an example. He said that on a general principle alone, Vlad should keep Boosie in the fold strictly because of how long they have been rocking together. And Shan Booty shouted out Money Man specifically, saying he has built a genuine friendship with him where Money Man gave him an interview for free and even did a feature for free. So now they have this mutual relationship where they put each other on to opportunities. No transactional energy, just real friendship. And his point was simple. Boosie wanted some extra money, so just throw him that bread. The relationship was worth more than the business disagreement. Shan Booty was genuinely in Boosie's corner on this one, telling Vlad the interview could still generate serious money and that paying more made sense from a financial standpoint too. But what came next confirmed everything I already suspected, that things between Boosie and Vlad were never going to go back to the way they were.
Now Vlad did call me. Vlad was like, hey, Boosie not rocking with me. I'm gonna get Charleston. He called me and told me that. He wanted to see how much I paid Charleston. We talked about it. He went and did the Charleston interview. Dope interview, right? So I get off the phone. I said, well, okay, Vlad interviewing Charleston. Let me reach out to Boosie. It just makes all the sense in the world. You got everybody hitting me up. Man, go get Boosie, man, go get Boosie. So I reach out to Boosie. We hit him up. He says no to the 15,000. Fine, that's okay, bro. Like I don't feel no way about it. I don't feel no way about it at all. I already said that Vlad is wrong for a lot of things he said about Boosie, about the finances and what he do and don't do with his money and all that.
And this right here is where it gets grimy. Because the moment Boosie said he did not want to do interviews anymore, the very first thing Vlad did was reach out to Shan Booty and ask how much Charleston White charges for an interview. And everybody knows that Charleston White is Boosie's biggest opposition. That is not a coincidence. That is a statement. And circling back to the Money Man point, if you are still claiming this man is your friend, you cannot turn around and go sit down with his worst enemy. It's like breaking up with someone and then watching them walk in the next day holding hands with the one person in the world you cannot stand, the person who has actively tried to destroy you. That is the kind of betrayal Boosie must be feeling right now. And Shan Boody confirmed it directly. He said Vlad hit him up personally and asked what Charleston charges for a sit-down, and Vlad even addressed it in the Charleston interview himself, saying they had been trying to connect for a while. He tried to frame it as doing Boosie a courtesy because Charleston had been saying wild things about Boosie's kids. And look, Charleston White has said some of the most outrageous things imaginable about people, about children, about specific individuals, so the courtesy angle does not really hold up under pressure. If I have a long-standing friendship with someone and we hit a rough patch business-wise and go our separate ways, I still cannot go do business with that person's biggest enemy, especially not this fast. How much money could Vlad make that would be worth it? Let us say Vlad makes $50,000 off that interview. Is $50,000 worth completely torching everything you ever built with someone on a friendship level? We're not even talking business here. We're talking about a genuine human relationship. Because here's the difference. Adam 22 operates purely in business mode. Most people around No Jumper understand they are business associates, not personal friends. Adam is going to interview all sides, all parties, all perspectives. That is just how he moves, and everybody around him accepts that. But Vlad and Boosie had a different kind of relationship. That was not just a content arrangement. That went deeper, and because of that, different rules should apply. And Boosie deserves to feel hurt by this. I would be hurt. Because Boosie has never gone out of his way to attack Vlad personally or hang around Vlad's enemies. He has kept it respectful. After his first interview where he addressed leaving Vlad, he never brought it back up again. Meanwhile, Vlad has been consistently bringing the situation up and generating content around it, which makes business sense, no question. But if this person is your friend and not just a content asset, that changes everything. And Shan Boody was genuinely fair in his assessment of the money situation. He offered $15,000 for a 1-hour interview. If Boosie has a $15,000 hourly rate, a 3-hour Vlad interview would have been worth $45,000. So the gap between what Boosie wanted and what was being offered was not as massive as people might think. Shan was not lowballing him. But I think Boosie is in a headspace right now where he does not want to do interviews at all, and he wants to command the same rate across the board regardless of platform size. The reality is that if the biggest platform with the biggest budget wasn't willing to meet that number, smaller platforms definitely are not going to get there either. At some point, the price has to adjust to the market. But here's what stands out to me. Boosie has actually been doing Vlad a quiet favor by not continuously talking about the situation publicly. Vlad, on the other hand, immediately ran to Charleston White the moment the business relationship ended, and according to that clip, it sounds like he had been waiting for the opportunity and felt relieved when it finally came. That says everything about where his head was at. The Charleston interview brought up Boosie, it brought up Ari Spears, and Vlad keeps the whole conversation going while Boosie stays quiet. Boosie could actually be milking this situation harder than Vlad if he wanted to. Vlad is the bigger name in the content space, and Boosie could generate serious attention by speaking on it consistently, but he's not doing that. Whether that's pride or strategy or just him being done with the whole thing, I'm not entirely sure. What I do know is this. The moment Vlad decided he was going to do Boosie that courtesy and not platform Charleston because of what he said about his kids, that should have been a permanent decision. You don't get to use that as a favor and then go back on it the moment the business arrangement falls apart, especially not immediately, especially not as your very first move. Unless there was a real betrayal involved, something on the level of what happened with Ari Spears, you can't sit across from Charleston White. The split between Vlad and Boosie seemed relatively civil from the outside, and that makes this feel even more like a stab in the back. I think Boosie is probably just going to step back and focus on building his own thing, but honestly, going fully independent is going to be a tough financial road, and his pride might make it impossible for him to ever return to Vlad, especially after watching Charleston White get a platform and his name keep getting brought up in the content. So we might just see Boosie slowly fade from the scene unless somebody gets in his ear and convinces him to start doing general commentary and engaging with topics beyond just his own personal situation. That kind of content would perform for him. Right now, he seems locked into chasing upfront guaranteed money, and that mindset is not how you build something long-term. Vlad never thought that way, and that's exactly why he built what he built over all these years. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.